Our divine power of the month is order. Go with the flow. So I am going with the flow, and I am staying stationary because this mic works. And I will put my passionate hands to rest in my body because I live in the flow. So it's September. I'm back from a 2-week rest there.
Thank God.
And I am very appreciative of all the things that individuals have done in my absence. And not only does my vacation come to an end, but September represents a lot of endings and new beginnings, right? School, the changing slowly of the weather, we can see there's a chill in the air. And just recently, actually in August, the Creating Sustainable Prosperity class came to a close. There were originally 15 people who participated via Zoom, which was the first time I and us in the community experiencing giving long distance class. And then we ended with 7 courageous, determined individuals. And so if you are here, I'd like to acknowledge and have you stand. Karen, Charlie, Orsini, Deborah, Peggy, Loretta, and Eileen. I'd like to applaud these spiritual warriors who persevered. Even when stuff got tough, material, they didn't have enough time, and just did what they were able and just knew by showing up that they would be stretched. And so what were some of the things we covered? Well, first we started out with an annoying, well, it seemed very annoying, physical practice of tracking everything you spend and all the money that you came in. Now, this was a monthly class, and so they were asked to do this task for 4 months. And I can tell you that by 2 weeks, ego started popping off. And then what the practice of this was first was to get a bird's eye view of where you were spending your energy. Was what you were spending physically in resources, what you were spending in your time, where you were placing your talents, how you were choosing your words, were they in alignment with what you spiritually desire, your intentions in life, your core values? So there was a lot around identifying that. And then going back and seeing, was there a match? Was there a leak? Am I in congruency or not? Just look, see, tell the truth. And then everybody looked at their money story, beliefs that they held, were told, society's view, their family's view. And we have, in the collective consciousness, societal consciousness, beliefs around money, right? We feel like we can't own what we love. It's like a love-hate relationship. I think when you get a lot of money, or just some money, anybody get excited, or is it just me? And sometimes in spiritual communities, we don't talk about it. We don't necessarily see it as spiritual, but if God is all there is, and everything is a divine creation, and so is money, it's about our consciousness from which we live and use it. And so looking at that, then we looked at if we live by faith, by knowing, living in the knowing that the inexhaustible supply is everywhere present, and that even though something is not in my life, if I center myself in that belief and live into it by embodying that which I desire, I bring it into expression to the best of my ability? Or do I live by fear, lack, and insecurity? And this is not just around money, but when you look at money, you can see what appears in one aspect of your life, you can see it in other aspects of your life. And we looked at forgiving and releasing, and we made a really distinction between the spiritual law of tithing versus giving to get Sometimes we start to, tithing starts as a law in the Bible, as a controlling method. And then we're like, oh, give where you're spiritually fed. And sometimes that becomes, I give to get. And what the difference is to give, not just of your resources, from the consciousness of appreciation. From wanting to bless, to be that which I desire, my divine nature. Not dependent on physical circumstances, but from my value, what I value. And that giving is so much more than a donation. It's giving of our being, of our divine essence. And so, yes, it did require discipline to get through some of that material, especially when it was tedious. The having to, once a month, and not having somebody hold your hand, and I use that term loosely, how disciplined am I? And so on and so on. And so today I have the good pleasure, and if there's time I'll share a personal story, if not I will make it a full talk. I get the good pleasure to have Charlie, two spiritual warriors, Charlie and Orsini, who are going to share some small nugget of how they used something and were touched by something. So I will call Orsini up.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, I'm going to try to keep this short. But I have a question, right? How many of you have read or taken more than one prosperity book or course? Right? Right. Okay. So let me know if this sounds familiar to you. Okay, so when the book arrived, I flipped through the pages real quick. And what came to mind, I see lists, I see, just like Reverend Angela was talking about, stuff to fill in, weekly tracking, and what came to me, right? Number one, it's going to be way too much work. What did I get myself into? Is this going to be a complete waste of my time? And the big one, right? I know all of this already. That's number one thing, right? And, I paid $45 for this book. It's not a lot, but I've been here long enough at Unity to know that when I say that, when I think I know everything, then that equals I really know Jack. And it only took me about 10 minutes to realize that I really don't know anything. Because as soon as something comes into my life that creates this little flipping through and prejudging something, I know that where I'm supposed to be is right where I'm at. Which is, I'm looking at this book, which looks so disorganized, looks like so unprofessionally done. I've done courses myself. With my kids, I've been better than this. So, understand where I'm coming from. And at that moment, I thought of something that my Taekwondo master said before summer break once. And, this is a 7th degree black belt. He's in his early 50s. A man I really respect. Been practicing for over 30 years. And I think he knows Taekwondo. Right? But he left us that particular, before summer break, with what he was going to do. And he always leads by example. And he said, what I'm going to do this summer is I'm going to practice having a beginner's mind with Taekwondo in every part of my life. And I took that to heart, and I take that to heart, because it's very easy for me and my high horse to think I know everything, right? But deep down I know that I don't know anything and I'm not supposed to. And that actually relieves a lot of pressure. It takes me off the hook, right? There's something bigger than me, right? Every brother and sister that I come in contact with bring something to the table, right? And I hold those things dear, right? So having the beginner's mind, I'm just gonna keep it short and really give you what was my big takeaway. My big takeaway was that small, and I had to write this down because it was kind of a long sentence, and if I don't write it down, I can stay up here for an hour. So, small, consistent choices / decisions leads to small, consistent habits / episodes of being that compound to something bigger than the sum of all the small choices and decisions I make. Right? One of the things that it's very easy, especially when it comes to prosperity. And I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine who was having an issue, and I've shared this with people in my Course in Miracles class, where he did a particular point, and I share this because he's become one of my biggest teachers, right? He's gone through his, darkness, or is seeing the illusions of what prosperity means in his life. And it's a person that, when we're talking about a person that is in a hole, he's in a hole, $4 million in a hole, right? It's not a very small number. But he's in a process of suffering, and we all experience this in smaller ways, but he's experiencing suffering because he's looking for the solution with some grand gesture, right? Or some grand thing that's going to take him out. Something from the outside, something big from the outside is going to happen. It's going to take him out from where he's at now, right? And being a friend and a personal brother and sister in this journey in this world, right? I try not to interject my wisdom at all. I just listen, right? Because that's not what I'm supposed to be here to do, right? But what I did learn is that, and the only thing I could say to him, because he asked and said, look, you just got to look at, from what I know, is I just got to look at the present moment and then this moment again, and start taking small, decisions in the right direction, right? You don't need to get to the top of the mountain to find your salvation. Your salvation is right here, right now. It's inside you, and it's just one step at a time. So, because I know that all that is real and true, right, is going on right now, right? And all you got to do is choose again. So the way out is to choose again. And what I learned from this book, by going through this tracking thing, which Angela said, it's really annoying. I mean, it's the most annoying thing that you can do, because I could be very, strict, and I can do that, right? But it gets to a point where you just don't want to do it anymore, right? Charlie was one of my people that I spoke to on a weekly basis in the beginning, right? And I was like, it's going to get to a point where that's it. I mean, I know we've gone 3 weeks. I mean, the book said, I'm done. I get it. And what I got was isn't those small decisions, right, that I can really make a difference in my life, because it compounds, right? So the next thing came to me, these small, consistent choices and decisions over time, right? And when I say small, I mean there's no order of magnitude, right? I like to think about small habits, small decisions over time, right? Compound and create something sustainable, right? So for me, the little statement I got from this book, and it's the last thing I'll leave you with, small, consistent choices / decisions over time compound and create sustainable acceptance of fill in the blank, right? So, and I say sustainable acceptance because it's already there. I don't need to create prosperity. I don't need to create abundance. I don't need to create love. I don't need to create joy. I don't need to create peace. I just need to accept it. So, what I've left with this again is small choices and moment by moment. And if something's wrong, I'm making it up. I need to choose it again. Make another choice. Thank you.
It's a good thing our treasurer took the class.
This is going to be a little bit different. There were a lot of different areas of this class, and it was really good to really get into them about prosperity and what it really means. And the one that had the most impact on me was gratitude for all the stuff that we have. All the stuff that we have in our life. And as we focus on the good parts of that, we get to see more, which means we have more. So we get to see more. Little example, one of my hobbies is bicycle riding. And we ride around Monmouth County and we come across these roads that have stop signs and traffic going back and forth and we have to get across. There's a lot of times that people stop and let us go. And when I become aware of that, and I talk to other people on the ride about it, we get more people to stop and let us go. I mean, they don't have to stop. They just do it because they're being nice. But getting back to what I have in my life, let me start off with life itself. I almost didn't make it through the birth process a number of years ago. And there's more to that story, but along the way through my life, as a kid, I ran out into the street without looking properly. Almost didn't make it. I've been in a couple of car accidents, nothing serious, but it could have been worse. I've been electrocuted. I've had a tree fall on me. I don't recommend doing any of these things to get an appreciation of life, but I did. This course made me remember some of these things. Most recently, I was diagnosed with a blocked artery, and the doctor said, it's really blocked, you have to get this done. Okay, so I got that fixed. And if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be up here now. Probably wouldn't be alive. So thanks to modern medicine. And I just went through some tests on my heart. I'm great. Now, I'm going to switch into the material stuff a little bit. All those tests, have you seen a medical bill lately? They're all covered. I didn't have to pay anything. So I have that insurance, which is another thing that I am grateful for. I have a house. I've got solar panels. My monthly electric bill is $2.83. Okay, and there's more to that story because it actually makes money for me. I put in a new heating system. It costs less than a third of what I used to have to run it. So this is all the stuff that is wonderful in my life that creates an abundance. The car I drive is not fancy, it's a minivan. But it holds all the things I need for my hobbies. Hobbies are important. It also lets me help others when the need arises. Like when a rocket gets stuck 40 feet up in a tree, over 40 feet, I have a 30-foot ladder and a very long 20-foot pole. So I climb up, get the rocket, and I have all that stuff. I have a lot of different tools that I get to use to make repairs, remodeling, and hobbies. I also have the experience and skills to use the tools to create things. And I continue to challenge myself with the tasks that I've never done before. I don't let lack of stop me. I have a wonderful family that's always there when I need them. My children bless me with me knowing that they are wonderful, self-reliant, responsible adults. They make a difference in the world. They also tolerate my bad puns. They barely tolerate my bad puns. They occasionally stop me from making my bad puns. And they get sympathy from their friends for my bad puns. I belong to several different organizations, mostly related to my hobbies. I have friends in all of them, and they support me in who I am, and in turn, I get enriched by them in my life. I've traveled to many places around the world and across the country. There's a lot of stories with those, and some of you have probably heard some of them. It has added to who I am and continues to spark my imagination and creativity. Although my bank account isn't where I would like it to be, I know that I am doing and being everything that I am supposed to. I will continue to be blessed with so many wonders of life, family, friends, health, challenges, and rewards. The bank account is such a small part of prosperity. The abundantly rich rewards of life are incredible. I live abundantly, and I am truly blessed.
And so, I'd like to once again thank Orsini and Charlie and all the individuals who, not just on a Sunday, but whether it's Course in Miracles, taking a class here or somewhere else, are seeking to be the expression of the divine nature, their divinity to the best that they can be. There's also a saying, lots of people, whenever finances seem to be showing up as not where you want it to be in a community, one of the first things people say, we need more people. Well, do we need more people because we want their money, or do we want people because we want to celebrate them? That we want to make a difference in their lives. And what we really want more of is growth in consciousness. So I applaud, because when we're living from our full potential of our greatness, who we came here to be, and we're not worried about where things are placed, not that our environment is not important, but when we're showing up here, not by the business, because we want to make a difference, we will not be able to stop people coming in that door. That's what I believe from my heart. And whoever's supposed to be here is supposed to be here. I was going to share, for me, there was a difference between gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude is it's not right or wrong, okay? Gratitude is thanking after the fact. Being grateful for something I overcame. Being grateful for things I already have. But when we live from the consciousness of appreciation, it's not dependent on any physical circumstances. It doesn't matter what I have in the banking account. It doesn't matter how many people are in the seats here. It doesn't matter if my son is still severely suffering from depression, or I have back issues now and then. And that's an inside out. It is loving, and doesn't mean I like everything that comes my way, but I am willing. When we say, faith it till you make it, let me tell you what that means, friends. It means despite whatever is going on in my life, I will not choose it to be a victim. Now, yes, we honor humanity and what is showing up, whatever we are feeling and thinking. I'm not asking you to do what quote-unquote people say, to do a spiritual bypass and start saying affirmations before we looked and see and embraced our humanity. But then we ask the question, not what do you need to do to change? How much more money do I need to make to be happy? It's about where am I placing my faith? In the substance of all that is, in my divinity, or in my victimhood? Now, I'm not saying sometimes that's easy because we just want to be right. Or we just want to tell someone who did us wrong, you're a bleepity bleep. Now, it doesn't mean we don't have those conversations. And I find for me, not necessarily all the time, that one of the things that I value more than anything is to evolve in consciousness, is to live into oneness, is to be a source of compassion, of love, of generosity. That's what lights me up. Because I can have a lot in my checking account, and if I'm not centered here, I do not experience the joy of my being. The joy of my being comes being from authentically, powerful, embracing everything in life. Knowing that, even though I may not like what's showing up, but if I'm willing not to resist, but look, how is this here to stretch me? And the disease of depression, and lots of unexpected expenses that have shown up recently, and I know I'm not alone. Raise your hand if you had unexpected expenses. Allow me to go deeper. Allow me to, as the Course would say, choose again. And so my friends, I know I have a whole talk title and I'm looking at time, so I will end here. But I, this day, choose to live from appreciation no matter what shows up. I am zeal, power, love, and light in expression. And I invite you into that too. Many blessings to each and every one of you, and have a week coming from appreciation.